The Trump administration has proposed a 21-point Gaza peace plan that calls for all hostages held by Hamas to be released within 48 hours of an agreement and sets out a roadmap for Gaza once the war ends, according to a source familiar with the proposal. U.S. President Donald Trump has voiced optimism about resolving the conflict, saying Friday they're very close to a deal, just days after his envoy said a breakthrough was possible. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, on Friday, however, vowed to continue the war until Hamas is destroyed. The plan could be problematic for Netanyahu, given it recognizes aspirations for a Palestinian state, something firmly opposed by key members of his government. The release of the hostages, about 20 of whom are thought to be still alive, would be in exchange for a phased withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza, according to the source. The plan would deny Hamas any future role in the governance of Gaza, the source said. Instead, it calls for two levels of interim governance in the territory: an overarching international body and a Palestinian committee. There is no timeline in the proposal for the international body to pass leadership of Gaza to the Palestinian Authority, PA, which exercises nominal self-rule in parts of the occupied West Bank and faces heavy restrictions by Israel. The Israeli government has persistently rejected any role for the PA in running Gaza. However, the U.S. plan could potentially offer a pathway to some form of Palestinian self-rule. Netanyahu reiterated his opposition to a Palestinian state while speaking at the UN General Assembly on Friday, saying that giving the Palestinians a state a mile from Jerusalem is like giving al-Qaeda a state 1 mile from New York City after September 11th. Deal presented to Arab states, Trump held a meeting with a number of leaders from Muslim nations, including Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Indonesia, Turkey, and Pakistan, on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday, calling it his most important meeting of the day. The U.S. plan was presented to Arab states at the United Nations, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff said Wednesday. "We're hopeful and, I might say, even confident that in the coming days we'll be able to announce some sort of breakthrough," Witkoff said. The source familiar with the plan told CNN the plan specifically says that Israel will not attack Qatar again. Israel targeted Hamas leaders in Doha earlier this month with a series of airstrikes just days after Hamas said it was considering a different U.S. proposal. Trump has also voiced optimism about resolving the conflict, saying a deal is very close. In a social media post Friday, Trump hailed what he called inspired and productive discussions with Middle Eastern partners to end the war in Gaza. Intense negotiations have been going on for 4 days and will continue for as long as necessary in order to get a successfully completed agreement, Trump wrote.